Okay, so today we're gonna talk about the attachments of the ulna and radius bones. This shows the anterior view of the left ulna and radius bones. We know that because we see the trochlear notch of the ulna, which shows that it is anterior, and we know that radius is lateral, ulna is medial, so we can imagine that this is the anterior view of the left radius and ulna. Okay, now we're going to talk about the attachments, the origins and insertions of the muscles. Starting from the anterior view, this is brachialis, this is supinator, its insertion, and this is supinator, its origin. This is biceps brachii. This is pronator teres, its origin. This is pronator teres, its insertion. This is the pronator tuberosity.
This is flexor digitorum superficialis, and this is also flexor digitorum superficialis, so it has got two origins.
This big, large origin is flexor digitorum profundus.
This is flexor pollicis longus.
These two are the origin and insertion of the pronator quadratus. This is the insertion of the brachioradialis. And now moving to the posterior. Okay, so again we can imagine that this is the posterior view of the left radius and ulna. I'm repeating this many times because it is important to indicate whether it's the right or the left. It is posterior, we know that, because we see many things. We see the dorsal tubercle of the radius. We don't see the trochlear notch. We see the olecranon process of the ulna. And we know that radius is lateral, ulna is medial, so it is the posterior view of the left radius and ulna. Now talking about the attachments of the posterior view. This is supinator, its insertion, and from here we can also see the origin of the supinator. This is triceps.
This is anconeus.
We don't talk about these two origins, this and this. These two are the origins of the abductor pollicis longus. This is the extensor pollicis longus. This is the extensor pollicis brevis, and this is the extensor indicis. And again, we may see this. Again, we should know that this is the flexor digitorum profundus. That should be all for this video. However, it's also good to talk about the actions of some of these muscles. So, pronator teres for pronation of the forearm, like this. So when it contracts, it pronates the forearm. And again, flexor pollicis longus for flexion of the thumb. This is flexor digitorum profundus, and this is flexor digitorum superficialis, both for the flexion of the digits, all the fingers except the thumb. Okay. And of course, we do also have brachialis, this is for flexion of the elbow joint, and we have supinator, and again supinator. This is for supination of the forearm. So it's like this. So if it is on the pronated position, when the supinator muscle contracts, it supinates the forearm. Okay, and now on the posterior view, we have the abductor pollicis longus for abduction of the thumb. Pollis is thumb. This is the extensor pollicis longus and extensor pollicis brevis, both for the extension of the thumb. And finally, this is the extensor indicis for extension of the index finger, this finger. And that should be all for this video. Thanks.